Good evening, friends, and welcome to episode 8 of Niagara Performs. My name is Annie Wilson, and I am proud to be your programming supervisor at the First Ontario Performing Arts Centre. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We have a very special presentation of bedtime stories with Carousel Players. And whether you're tuning in today on YouTube, you're on our Facebook page, or if you're watching the rebroadcast on Your TV Niagara, we thank you very much for tuning in. You know, we're really missing the opportunity for us to all be together and to come together. But we're very proud to bring you Niagara Performs. It's our chance to bring our beloved Niagara artists together with our beloved audiences through the arts. So tonight, we are set to welcome the Artistic Director of Carousel Players, Monika Dafoe. And she's going to read us a bedtime story. She's going to do a puppet show, and we're going to do a fun craft together. So let's all welcome Monika. Good evening.
Oh, hi, Annie. How are you?
I'm well. How are you, Monika?
Great. Thank you.
It's very nice to see you.
It's good to see you too. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. I'm going to hand it over to you to share a story.
Wonderful. I'm very excited.
Great. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So we're really missing the opportunity to be with you in theaters and in schools doing plays, which is what Carousel Players usually does. But I've been finding that I've spent a lot of time reading lately, and I wanted to share one of my favorite books with you tonight. So this book is called PEG and the Yeti. And a few years ago, Carousel Players made a play out of this book. So we took the story, this wonderful story written by Kenneth Oppell, and we turned it into a play that toured all over Niagara and all over Ontario and all over Manitoba. So it's a very special story to me. And tonight we're not going to do the play, but we're going to read this wonderful book. And again, it's written by Kenneth Oppell, and it's illustrated by Barbara Reed. And I just want to thank Kenneth and Barbara for giving us permission to read their story tonight. So before I start the story, I just want to say one thing. After the story, we're going to make a craft. We're going to make a Yeti craft. And you're going to need some things for that craft. So if you want to get them now, so you have them ready for the craft time right after the story, this would be a good time to get them. So you're going to need, I think there's a list going up on your screen, but the first thing you're going to need is a paper tube from toilet paper, a cardboard tube from toilet paper, and you're going to need some glue and some cotton balls and a glue stick or some white craft glue with a Q-tip to apply it, some scissors to cut out the arms and feet and face of the Yeti, and you'll need the sheet, which is available. I think the link is right there on the First Ontario Performing Arts Centre website. So if you want to print that now, then you'll have it all ready to go when we finish the story. All right. So let's get to our story for tonight, PEG and the Yeti. And I have to say, this is a book that I read to my kids when they were little, and they loved it. So I hope you enjoy it tonight. So, Peg was born upon the bright blue sea. Her home was her parents' fishing boat. And by the time she was 8, she'd caught pretty much every fish that swam. She caught a whale once, but she let it go because a whale is not a fish. But Peg was putting all that behind her now. She wanted big. She wanted better. She wanted best. She figured she'd spent enough time sloshing around at the bottom of the world. Now she wanted to see the top. She wanted to climb the world's tallest mountain. She'd heard the view was quite something. Peg packed up her fishing rod and said goodbye to her mother and father. She traveled by stagecoach, by steamer, rickshaw, and water buffalo. And in no time at all, she was at the base of Mount Everest. It stuck right up through the clouds and kept going on the other side. Doesn't look so tall to me, Peg said, but if that's the best there is, I'll just have to put up with it. After an hour or two, she passed a team of other climbers. "What do you think you're doing, lass?" they called after her. I always imagine that they're Scottish climbers for some reason. "Climbing the world's tallest mountain," said Peg. "But you've got no gear," they exclaimed. "You'll need clamps and cleats and cables. You'll need poles and picks and pulleys. There's windstorms, avalanches, and they say there's a monster up there, the Yeti." "Well, I should hope so," said Peg. "I've been wanting to see a Yeti." And up she went. Peg scaled precipices, skated glaciers, and crossed chasms on icicle ladders. The air moaned, the mountain groaned, and Peg's breath froze solid and clattered to the ground. "Well, suppose I better put my mitts on," she said. "It's getting a touch chilly." Well, a wind came howling down on Peg and tried to blow her halfway to China. Peg was delighted. She rigged herself a sail from her tent and went tacking on up the mountain. See, she made a sail. Peg found a cave to spend the night. She sat down on a big boulder. It was quite soft. It was quite warm. Then she realized she was sitting on the Yeti. "Poor fellow seems to be having trouble waking up," Peg said. She lifted a paw, spotted an ear, and shouted, "Hey there, Yeti, wake up!" The Yeti woke up. He stood up, big as an iceberg, and gave a roar that blasted Peg right out of the cave and down the hill. Peg dusted herself off. The Yeti still seemed a bit out of sorts. He roared again. He jumped up and down, banged his fists against the mountain, and started an avalanche that came plunging down towards Peg like a tidal wave. Peg's way at the bottom there. Well, Peg got busy. She built herself an igloo. She was nice and cozy inside when the snow hit. Peg made tea. She ate an apple, nibbled some salted cod, and crunched some pork scrunchions. Then she wrapped herself up in her blanket and went to sleep. The next morning, Peg thought she'd better get moving along. There was only one path up the mountain, and the grumpy Yeti was blocking her way. So Peg figured she'd tunnel right past underneath him. After a few hours, Peg popped her head out to see where she was. Ooh, look where she's headed. Turned out she was right back inside the Yeti's cave. The Yeti yanked her up and sniffed her. "Yeti, you look a little peckish," Peg said. "What you need is a good square meal." She reached into her backpack and offered the Yeti an apple. The Yeti pulverized it in his paw. So Peg offered him some salted cod. The Yeti growled. Peg offered him a pork scruncheon. The Yeti sniffed it. The Yeti licked it. The Yeti ate it. He purred and put out his paw for another. It was a good thing Peg had brought plenty. Now Peg reckoned she'd better get going while she and the Yeti were still on friendly terms. The Yeti followed her. "Go on now, Yeti," Peg said. "I've got a mountain to climb. Shoo now, shoo." Why don't you pretend you're Peg for a moment and say to the Yeti, "Shoo now, Yeti, shoo." Try it. Shoo now. Good. But the Yeti would not shoo. He would not go away. He patted her on the shoulder with his big hairy paw. He wanted more scrunchions. Peg had never met a Yeti so keen on scruncheons. Up Peg went towards the clouds, but when she got there, they were frozen solid. She started chipping away with an icicle. The Yeti covered Peg's ears with his paws and gave a roar so loud he shattered the clouds into snowflakes. There was the peak. The Yeti hefted Peg onto his shoulders. He was a bit shaggy and smelly, but Peg supposed she was a bit shaggy and smelly by now too. In no time at all, they were at the top. But it wasn't quite the top. There was one last peak, a needle of sheer ice, high as a lighthouse. Well, Peg wasn't putting up with that. She got out her fishing rod. She swung that rod back over her shoulder and cast with all her might. The line played out higher and higher, and the hook sank into the icy peak. Peg reeled herself up and stood looking over the top of the world. The view was fine. Peg felt mighty pleased with herself. She'd wanted to climb the world's tallest mountain, and here she'd gone and done it, with a little help from the Yeti. Well, after a few minutes, she reckoned it was time to be heading down, but walking just seemed a tad boring now. Peg got to work. She carved herself a gondola out of ice and started a fire and then filled up her tent like a hot air balloon. "Goodbye, Yeti," she said. She dumped the last of the scruncheons into his big hairy paw. "Sorry for waking you up, and thanks for your help." The Yeti climbed aboard with her. "Go on, Yeti, Peg. Go on, Yeti," Peg said. "Shoo now, shoo." He tried again. "Shoo now, shoo." Good. "You're too heavy, Yeti," Peg said. "We'll go nowhere like this." The Yeti opened her backpack and dumped out the rest of the salted cod, and slowly the balloon rose into the air. See all the salted cod falling out? Oh, this is my favorite picture. They floated down through the night, the stars close enough to pluck right out of the sky. It was some cold, but Peg and the Yeti curled up together to keep warm. Next morning, Peg spotted the other climbers. "Forget the gear," Peg cried out to them. "Get a Yeti!" They glided out over the ocean, and Peg saw a speck on the horizon. Wouldn't you know it? Her mother and father's fishing boat. Peg landed the balloon right on deck. "Peg, we were a bit worried we'd never see you again," her mother said. "Well, I saw the top of the world," said Peg. "And how was that?" her father asked. "Quite high. The view was fine." "I see you've brought the Yeti with you," her mother said. "He likes the scruncheons," Peg explained. "Very good then," said her father. Well, that Yeti, he took to the sea like nothing else. By the time they reached harbor, he knew how to pull lines, haul sheets, and gut fish along with the best of them. He decided to stay on fishing. But Peg was the restless sort. She was pushing 9, and she figured it was high time she made something of her life. After all, she wanted big. She wanted better. She wanted best. And she'd already set her sights on something new. Look at that. Peg is heading up a river towards a waterfall. It looks like she's maybe in South America. Maybe it's the Amazon. She's an adventurer. Well, that's the end of our story, Peg and the Yeti. Oh, I do love that story. Just going to put that down. So now we get to make a craft. And what we're going to make is your very own Yeti. All right, so I'm just going to get my little table ready. And my supplies. So, like we said, you need a cardboard tube. Hi, Lindsay. We need a cardboard tube, from toilet paper. And if you're going to be cutting out the pieces, you need some scissors. Or maybe a grown-up could help with that. And I've got all my other things here. You need some cotton balls. And the pieces of the feet and the arms and the face of your Yeti. So for my Yeti face, the scan that is available, it's just a little faint. So I went over all the lines of the eyes and the nose and the mouth with a black marker, a very fine tip black marker, just to make them stand out a bit more. And you need to have some glue. I put some glue, some white glue, just on a plastic lid. So, because when you have it in a bottle like this, sometimes it comes out really fast. Now, if you don't have any cotton balls at your house, that's okay. You can still make a Yeti. You can get a Kleenex and just tear up some pieces of Kleenex like this. And that can be your Yeti fur. Just tear it up and maybe tear it in smaller pieces. And then you can stick that on to be your Yeti's fur. Or if you don't have, if you don't want to do that, you could always use string or some yarn. I don't have any white yarn. I only have blue, sort of blue and yellow and green. But you could cut that into pieces and then glue yarn all over if you wanted to do it that way. So let's get started. So I have all my pieces cut out except for one hand. So I'm just going to cut out the one arm that I didn't cut out yet. Cutting along the lines. And it's just printed on white, regular white printer paper. It doesn't have to be cardboard or anything like that. Great. So now on the little pieces, you'll notice there are some, I don't know if you can see that, but there's some dotted lines, and that's where you're going to fold it. So you're going to fold it along the dotted line. So that's the first thing you can do, is to take the arms and fold along the dotted line, and the other one. So they're folded like that. And the feet, so you'll notice the feet have a little triangle. It's like a little notch cut out because you're going to put it on the inside of the tube. And if you didn't make a little notch, then they wouldn't lie flat. All right, so now I've got a Q-tip to put the glue on. So the first thing we're going to glue on is the face. So you take your face and you put a little glue on the back of the face. The good thing about putting glue on a plastic lid or something like that too is if you have lots of people in your house who want to make it at the same time, then you don't have to wait taking turns for the glue stick or the white glue bottle. So I just glued it on quite close to the top, but not touching the top of the tube. So now that you have the face on, well, that's the front. Oops, I did it wrong. You wanted to put it on the side that faces the foot. You can just bend it the other way if you did it wrong like me. So away from the side that faces the foot. The side that faces the foot. Is everybody catching up with me here? Okay, so you got the face, and this is my Yeti's left foot. So I'm going to stick it on just to the left of his face, like that. And press on the inside of the tube like that. All right, I got one foot on. Now I'm going to put the other foot on. And remember, you want to put the glue on the flap that is facing towards the foot, so that when you put it underneath, it's going on the inside of the tube. And just press on that with your fingers and then bend it forward. Ooh. There, I have 2 feet on my Yeti. All right, and now we're going to put the arms on. So you want to put the arms so that the thumbs are facing up and the flap is going away from the face. So put a little glue on that edge and stick it on. One arm. And then some glue on the other one. Just a little bit. And stick that on. There, I have arms and feet and a face. Everybody catching up? Okay, this is my favorite part of making this craft. Now you're going to put glue all over your Yeti. Put a little bit above the Yeti's face, but not on the face. And so I'm putting it all over the front of the Yeti's body now. I hope you're all doing okay. If you have any questions, just type them to me and I will try to answer them. Great. So now you take the cotton and you're going to pull the cotton apart like this. Can I explain? Someone's asking, what is a Yeti? Oh, a Yeti is a mythical creature. A mythical creature that lives in the north, particularly in, sometimes it's called an abominable snowman. So it lives way, way in the north. And so it would live, perhaps it lives around Mount Everest in the Himalayas. So we're going to stick the cotton onto the gluey part. Whoa, now I have fur on my Yeti. And stick some around the Yeti's face. And you even want to bring it over across the top of the Yeti's head, because then it looks like it doesn't have a hollow head. You want it to look like it has fur growing all the way across. Some down there. Be careful you don't put it right underneath, otherwise your Yeti won't stand up very well. Okay, and now glue on the back. Glue on the back. So we're going to put glue all over the back of the Yeti. And try not to stick your fingers to the cardboard tube. And then I'm going to get some more cotton ball fluff and stick it on. Stick it on the back. And just a little bit more glue down at the bottom here. And pull apart my last cotton ball and stick it around the bottom. There we go. I made a Yeti. Get that out of the way. So that's what your Yeti looks like. And like I was saying, you can pull some of the cotton across the top here, so it looks like your Yeti has hair growing all the way across. And you can even make your Yeti wave one hand. Hello. Hello, everybody. All right, that is how you can make your very own Yeti craft. I'm just going to put this one over here because it's still drying. And I'll move my craft supplies over here. Anybody have any questions? Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for your applause. Does anyone have any questions about making the Yeti before we go on to the next thing? No questions. Wonderful. Well, I've been missing making plays for kids. And so I've started to make some stories here at home, just using the toys that I have around me or the things that are already in my house. So you can see I've found some stuffed animals and some toys like this dollhouse. And today I made up a story with the Yeti. So I'm going to tell you this story that I made up with the Yeti and with some other toys from around my house. So let's imagine this is just after the story of Peg and the Yeti. What might happen next with the Yeti? So one day, the Yeti decided that he needed a break from the fishing boat. So he went out walking to see what he could see. And he walked, and he walked, and he walked. And soon he noticed there were some trees around where he was walking. And he was enjoying the nice spring air. And he kept walking and walking and walking and walking until he realized, oh, he was getting a little tired.
Oh, Yeti is tired.
He noticed a tree nearby, and he went and sat down behind the tree to have a little rest. Well, just then, out of their house came Hippo and Bear.
Hey, Hippo. Oh, what should we do? Bear, I don't know. It's such a beautiful spring day.
Oh, I know. Hippo, let's run a race.
Oh, good idea, Bear. Good idea. Let's get ready.
Get ready. Get set. Go, go. Oh, it's a tie.
It's a tie, Bear.
Well, that was fun. What should we do now?
Maybe something with a little less running.
Good idea, Hippo. What should we play? How about we play hide and seek, Bear? Good idea. I'll count first.
All right, but you count slowly, Bear.
I will. I'll go in. I'll count over here. 1.
Where should I hide?
2. Oh, how about over here? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ready or not, Bear? Here I come. Maybe he's down here. Oh, I don't see him down there. Maybe. Oh, I see you, Bear. I see you, Hippo. There you are.
Oh, you found me, Bear.
All right, your turn. You count and I'll go and hide.
All right, go and hide.
Count slowly, Hippo.
I will. 1 hippopotamus, 2 hippopotamus, 3 hippopotamus.
I'll hide over here.
4 hippopotamus, 5 hippopotamus, 6 hippopotamus, 7 hippopotamus, 8 hippopotamus, 9 hippopotamus, 10 hippopotamus. Here I come, Bear.
Oh, where is Bear? Maybe he's down here. Nope. Maybe he's over here. Nope. Maybe he's back here. Bear, is that you?
Roar!
It was the Yeti. Yikes! Hippo ran away.
Roar! Roar!
We all know that Yetis don't like waking up when they're having a nap. Bear!
Roar!
Bear!
Roar!
Bear! I'll go down here.
Hey, where'd you go, Hippo? Hippo, were you calling me? Hippo, were you calling me? Roar! Yikes! It's a Yeti! Roar! Bear started to run away, but the Yeti kept following him because the Yeti thought it was a game and was running after Bear until Bear ran all the way to their trampoline. And he jumped on the trampoline. Boing, 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 boing. Well, the Yeti thought that was pretty funny. Boing, boing, boing. Hey, Yeti, do you want to try jumping on the trampoline? Oh, Yeti jump. Come on, we'll jump together. Boing, 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 boing. Hey, what's going on? Boing. Hippo! The Yeti likes to jump on the trampoline. Oh, I like to jump on the trampoline too. Can I try? Yeah, jump on the trampoline. Boing, 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 boing. Nice tricks, Hippo. Let me try. Boing, woo, boing, woo, boing, woo, boing, wow. You try, Yeti. Boing, 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 boing. Then they all boing tried. Boing, boing, boing. And then the Yeti did a special trick. Boing, 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 boing. Oh, whoa, a pyramid. Boing, boing. They all stacked on top of each other. Whew. That was fun. Yeah, that was fun. Well, what do you want to do now? Oh, time for Yeti to keep walking. Okay. Well, it was nice to meet you, Yeti. Nice to meet you, Bear. Nice to meet you, Yeti. Nice to meet you, Hippo. Bye, Yeti. Bye-bye. And the Yeti kept going on its adventure. Whew. I'm tired, Hippo. Yeah, me too. We ran a race. That's right, we ran a race. And we played hide and seek. Yep, we played hide and seek. And then I found a Yeti. Yeah, that's right. We met a Yeti today. The Yeti was nice. I liked him. And then we jumped on the trampoline. That's right, we jumped on the trampoline. Well, I guess it's time for us to go inside. We could play checkers inside. Yeah, let's play checkers inside. Let's go. And so Bear and Yeti, Bear and Hippo, went back inside their house. And that's the end of my story that I made up. I made this trampoline as part of my story. It's just some foam core and tissue paper and tape. So that's something you could do too, is make up a story and make things for your own story at home. I hope that you find some time to make your Yeti if you haven't already finished it, and make some stories that you can tell. Maybe you could make up your own story and show it to your family, like make a little puppet play for your family. And I hope that in this story that we just told tonight, it was an imaginary story where friends get to play with new friends. And that's kind of fun to tell a story like that right now, isn't it? Because we can't really play with our friends at this point in time. But sometime soon we will. And sometime soon we'll get to make some plays again together, and bring plays to kids at schools and at theaters. And I look forward to that, to seeing all of you. I miss you. Oh, and if you make your Yeti craft and you tell a story with your Yeti, I hope that you take a photo. And if you want to post that photo, please tag Carousel Players and the First Ontario Performing Arts Centre when you post the photo, because we'd really love to see those online. Hey, Annie, are you still there?
I sure am. Can you hear me? Hi, Monika. I was just finishing up my Yeti.
Like your Yeti's face. Great smile.
Yeah, he just got off the trampoline. So. Well, that was so much fun. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. And thanks to everyone who tuned in to watch it, or if you're watching it later on your TV, that would be great too.
Absolutely. We are so lucky to have Carousel Players in our community, to have Monika and the creative team there. I believe that Carousel Players is 47 years old. Is that true?
48 this season, 49 next season. And so our 50th anniversary is in 21-22.
Oh, that's incredible. I still remember my very first experience seeing a play was in my school gym when I was probably 6 years old, and it was a Carousel Players show. So we look forward to having you back at the Performing Arts Centre and having you travel the region, sharing your wonderful imaginations and creativity with all of us.
Yeah, we're really missing it too. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being with us this evening, Monika, and we will look forward to the next time.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank
you, everyone. Bye, friends.
Well, the wonderful Monika Dufault from Carousel Players. Well, that was a lot of fun. We invite you to tune in this Sunday for our next episode of Niagara Performs. It's featuring the musical duo of Vox Violins. They are incredible powerhouse musicians from our community, Mark Clifford and Beth Bartley. So that will be at 4 p.m. on this Sunday, again, through our Facebook and YouTube pages. I wanted to give a special shout out to my awesome colleague, Mike Chess. He has been holding it down for us here and helping produce Niagara Performs. He's behind the scenes tonight, and just very grateful for all of the work that he does to bring a seamless presentation to each of us. So thank you, Mike. And I will say good night for now, but you will see myself or Mike or Sarah from our programming and marketing team soon. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with us, and we look forward to the next time. And remember, the arts live right here. Thank you.